Hello everybody, here we are today doing my Week 8 CFL picks and getting on into that. So before we get started with it, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or the CFL, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. Boy oh boy, does it ever feel like I know nothing about the CFL when I ended up going 1-3 last week. But we are back again to be punished, and in this week we are going to be looking at the first game of the week and seeing a potentially good matchup, but potentially one that may not be as good as you think. So you have the Saskatchewan Roughriders playing the Montreal Alouettes, two teams that were the last teams in the league to be undefeated, but both of them now are able to say that they have lost at least one time. Saskatchewan is coming off of a nice win over the BC Lions and snapping a 5-game win streak. Excuse me, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I'm going stir crazy here as they lost to BC a couple weeks ago. Anyway, they are sitting pretty out west and trying to, again, pick up a very notable win against a team like Montreal. Meanwhile, Montreal is in a spot where you would think a couple weeks ago they were the favorites going into this game. They would have been coming off of a bye week and they were just really looking great. But looks like Cody Fajardo could be out in this game at time of recording, so he could be, again, on the sidelines. Losing your starting quarterback, not fun. Keon Julian Grant as well may miss this game. So you're seeing a matchup where, even though it is Montreal, that is the home side, and they are, again, coming off of a bye. The Riders picked up a nice win over Winnipeg last week and are playing a depleted Montreal side. So for this one, I'm going to be picking Saskatchewan here. If they get a win here, even though it may not be against a fully healthy Owls roster, I'm going to be really impressed to see what they can do without Trevor Harris. So Saskatchewan, I'm picking you. Don't make me look bad here. And then in the next game, we get to see the Calgary Stampeders travel over to Ottawa to play the Red Blacks. Felt like last year Ottawa was able to make life difficult for Calgary, and in this case with the Red Blacks being 4-2 and sitting in the best spot that they've sat in years, if they get their 5th win of the season, that is already more wins than they would have had in 2022, 2023, 2021, 2019. Just kind of get the gist. That is a Ottawa team that could be the best they've been since 2018, which is what I said they could have been at the start of the year in my season preview for them. But they are going up against the Calgary side that was able to snap a 5-game win streak for the BC Lions, or against the BC Lions. Jake Maier has had multiple games this year where he's been able to throw for over 300 yards and is going to be trying to get Calgary back to being a 500 team. Excuse me, I meant to say winning team, as they'd be 4-3 after this week, but I would like to see if this one actually turns into being a competitive game that could be high scoring, or what we saw last year where there was a couple of ugly games between these two sides. Ottawa, I'm not exactly sure if they're the favorite going into this one, but being home, coming off of multiple wins in a row, are possibly the favorites. But I'm going to be going Calgary here. If they pick up a win, it'd be another good testament. Maybe Maier has a good game, is able to establish himself and say, last year was a bad year, but I am positioning myself to be possibly the future long-term starter for the club and getting us back to being not only a playoff team, but a winning team capable of making things happen. And on top of that too, putting more distance between a team like them and Winnipeg and making it a little bit more safe in terms of keeping the playoff streak alive. The Red Blacks are a little bit too high and low for me. Calgary, I know, probably could be that case too. But I've got a feeling about the Stamps in this one. And I know I've had some feelings in the past couple of weeks that have come back to make me look really, really not smart here. But I'm feeling good. Calgary's going to win this. Then the third game of the week is really, really confusing because you have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers traveling over to Toronto to play the Argonauts. I have no idea. I literally don't. I'm just going to make a pick by the end of me talking about some things, and we're just going to stick with it. Winnipeg coming off of a loss to Saskatchewan. Toronto coming off of a loss to Hamilton, where they were the first team of the season to lose to the Ticats. Hamilton built out a lead at halftime. They're able to keep it, even though the Argos got within 3 at the end of that game. You know, you've got a system where Toronto could go out there and see their young quarterback in Dukes have a good game, but you could also see him have a relatively bad game. You've seen games where he's had 16 of 21 for passing and completions and attempts and go for like 200 yards or less. Coloros, Winnipeg, are they good? Are they bad? We're still trying to figure that out halfway through the year at this point, and we don't know. But I think for this one, as much as I hate to say it, I'm going to pick Winnipeg. They have been my kryptonite, but we're going to have them possibly go out there and pick up a nice road win and maybe make life difficult for Toronto, as I think if they ended up losing this game, that would be their 4th loss in the past 5 games. Not going to be one where I feel particularly confident one way or the other. Let's go with an upset here. I don't even know what the money line is. I probably should check that before these games and what I make the picks, but let me know your thoughts on that one. And what could have been a very beautiful game to close out the week isn't meant to be, as those stinking Toronto Argonauts ended up letting Hamilton pick up their first win of the year. Otherwise, they would have been winless with the Edmonton Elks as the last 2 teams without a W. But of course, they sit at 1-5, where Edmonton is 0-6. This game, I really feel like could go either way. I know, shocker for two teams that are at the bottom of the league. And I don't know. I think I'm picking Edmonton here. Not much to back it up. They're at home. They're playing a team that just picked up their first win. Maybe they're a little bit slacking here, and Edmonton is saying we have to beat them so we're not the first 0-7 team of the year, the only 0-7 team of the year, as they try to avoid matching their historically bad start from last season. The potential for Edmonton to be there and pick up their first win is there. I say it every week. I'm getting sick and tired of saying it. This is probably their best chance, and who knows how long, possibly for the foreseeable future, as they have games against Saskatchewan and BC, and then maybe another game against Hamilton, but Hamilton could win that one, and then a game against Montreal. There's a lot to go on here. There is a really good chance that I think Hamilton actually goes on to win this, which would be nice for them, because if Toronto keeps slumping, they're like, heck yeah, we could possibly make it as a 3 seed out east. I don't know. This is really going to be a pivotal game for the Tiger Cats, so I should probably be picking them. Maybe I'll switch a little bit later in the week, but for now we're going to be picking the Elks. So for my picks for the week, I'm picking Saskatchewan, I'm picking Calgary, I'm picking Winnipeg, and I am picking Edmonton. This week has to be the worst feeling week of the year. I truly think I'm going to go 0-4 this week. I just don't even see a world where I end up picking up any wins. And the problem is I feel like if I switch my picks, I'm going to be in a bad rut, as I've been in a bad rut the past 2 weeks, I believe. But guess what? The Lions are on a bye, and I'm just going to be watching football and be excited to watch it without having any stake in the game. Of course, obviously be watching the standings and seeing how things will play out, but for the love of the game, right? Anyway, what are your picks for Week 8 in this round of the CFL? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night.